Welcome everyone to Irwindale Raceway here with Sim TV for the Irwindale Sim Series. I'm Kyle Heyer here with Finian DeCuna for Sim TV, and Finian, tonight is the first round with these guys with us, and it's going to be a good one. We got a couple rounds of racing here tonight, starting with the super late models.
Yeah, it should be a fun group of races, I should say. We have 4 different races tonight in 4 different classes. Kyle, if you want to just list off the different type of races we're going to see tonight.
Yeah, we're starting off with super late models tonight. And we got Legends coming out later tonight, as well as the MX-5s are going to be out here tonight. So it's going to be a fun night of racing. We also have, I believe we have figure 8 racing here tonight too. So this is a new format for us. We're still getting used to things, so bear with us. We wanted a little bit more time to get set up, but we had a couple technical difficulties on the way. So you'll notice tonight we got a new ticker here. It's a work in progress, so bear with us on that as well. It's our new top ticker that new leagues will have the ability to select between that and our conventional ticker. And this is still a work in progress, so things still have yet to be changed on it. But for now, it seems pretty good. And Finian, tonight, short track racing, Irwindale Raceway, bi-weekly with these guys. And tell us a little bit about this track in Irwindale, California.
Well, it's a pretty small oval. It's only half a mile. And also really flat, so you're going to see a lot of guys, kind of what we saw at Langley earlier in the week. A lot of the guys hugging the bottom line and probably moving each other out of the way.
Yeah, gonna be a little bit of bumping and banging here, and these super late model machines are massively quick, and we're riding on board now with the number 70 of G.D. Laird, and currently qualified second. You can see at the top of your screen there the running order scrolling across the top of your screen. And the best lap time right now laid down by Brandon Hoff with a 17.642, and just 100th behind him is that number 70 Toyota Camry of G.D. Laird. JDR Graphics on board with him as well as with us. We want to give a special thank you to JDR Graphics, the Trackside Experience, and DJ Safety for sponsoring this event here tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, you can find the start time of the race in the comment section below. And tonight we are going to have a couple breaks. Well, you see G.D. Laird driving into the wall there. We're going to have a couple short breaks tonight to facilitate the changeover to get the track set up for the other races that are happening here this evening. And we have a 50-lap feature race for the super late models beginning in just about 2.5 minutes once we finish up qualifying. And this is going to be an exciting night of racing, and we're going to be here again every couple weeks with this group of guys, and looking forward to some great short track action. Number 9 of Davey Scoville on the racetrack as well. I just pulled off. That is a Chevrolet SS that he is driving here tonight.
Incredibly tight at the top of the field. They're only separated by about 1/100th of a second. That's incredibly close. And these guys, I believe, are on an open setup. So that just makes that even more impressive.
Especially, I think a lot of times an open setup racing can actually lead to closer battles between guys. Once you kind of figure out how to set that camber and get the car set up, you end up with pretty close battles, or as close as they would be with fixed setups, as we saw at Lime Rock a couple weeks ago with Peter Short and the 3-Wide Truck Series. That fixed setup doesn't always mean everyone's on a level playing field, especially once you factor in a road course in that mix. But no road course racing here for this league. All Irwindale, all the time. And, oh, you see the 66 of David Krikorian. And for the guys that are in this league, bear with us as we learn all your names. It's going to be a couple streams until we get everybody right. But David Krikorian is how I'm going to say that tonight. I hope that's correct. Jeffrey Stanton, Davey Scoville, John Quinn, G.D. Laird, and Brandon Hoff, the 6 guys in the super late models here this evening. About 1.5 minutes left in qualifying, and still at the top of the board. It's Hoff and Laird, and then you got to look back in a whole 10th to find John Quinn in the number 91. Wow, look at the 7 sliding off over there. It's turn 2, I believe. And he's still out of control, and what an amazing save. Oh, man, he almost had it, and he does. With that Hooters
for a half a lap. That's impressive.
That's pretty impressive. These super late models are incredibly fast, though. Lots of horsepower under the hood and a lot of downforce as well. They're pretty quick machines. And we see Brandon Hoff wheeling that thing around there. It takes a lot of driver skill to run the speeds that he's running around here. I took a couple laps here earlier. I wasn't super familiar with Irwindale Raceway, or Speedway, rather. And took a couple laps around here, and boy, it is wide here. And it's a lot of racing room. And very inviting on restarts to run in the high lane and try to get around the guys on the bottom.
Yeah, honestly, you can fit all 6 of the cars that are starting tonight. You can probably fit them all side by side at one point in time. It's that wide.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think you could easily get all those cars side by side around here. Let's take a look at our weather for tonight with the Irwindale Sim Series. 78 degrees in the air, 84 on the track, partly cloudy sky conditions, wind out of the north at 2 miles an hour. A perfect night for racing here in Irwindale, California. Looks like Brandon Hoff really, see him hit the wall there just a little bit at the end, but really setting himself up for a good night. Well, checkered flag is in the air for qualifying, and let's get these guys gridded up and ready to go racing for 50 laps here around the Irwindale Speedway. And looking at this beautiful track. One of the nicer looking short tracks that we have in the United States, and certainly compared to some other racetracks, it is doing quite well in terms of, it looks finished, is what I'm saying. It got catch fencing everywhere, which is a good thing. But it looks like we're all set up and ready to go. Looking from above, you can see all the different layouts of this racetrack. It's got an outer layout, an inner layout, a figure-8 layout, and an egg-shaped layout that we will not be using in this series, but the other 3 layouts we will be using tonight. So it's going to be fun. At the top of the board there, you've got your leaders that will be displayed, not super accurate at the moment, but once we get racing, it'll show the leader, the top 3 guys, 1, 2, and 3. And should there be a caution, it'll show us the number of yellows we've had. Hopefully, we'll keep that number down to a minimum. All right. Just waiting to get everybody gridded on the racetrack. And Finian, looking forward to racing with these guys and jumping from car to car with these fellas. It's going to be a good couple weeks that we're running with these guys bi-weekly, and this is the first time we've scheduled a stream, so I really hope everything's working right. Had to learn a couple new things myself, so hopefully we got it all sorted.
Yeah, hopefully we're not talking to ourselves for 2 hours.
I checked it. I think we're good, but I'm worried about the bitrate a little bit. Got to get those things all kind of squared away. So should be 1080p, should be 30 FPS. Can't quite run 60 at 1080p, so hopefully it looks good for everyone. All right, pace car is going to pull off here shortly. And that number 7 of Brandon Hoff and the Hooters Ford Fusion is going to roll off on pole. Got a Toyota Camry on the outside of him. There's G-Day Laird in the 70.
That is a great looking car.
The Camry? Yeah. It does look pretty good. That number 70 on the side with the pink and yellow, and there's some blue on there. It's a great looking paint scheme for JDR Graphics. So, as always, we have links to all the sponsors in the video description, so check those out. And if you're new to the channel and Sim TV, please subscribe for more content. We got lots of it. And we got more coming this way. Later this week, we race the 3-wide truck series again at Monza. And also, Super Rallycross is over, so that was this last night, so you can check the channel for those races. Our very own Finian D'Acuna won those championships, so congratulations to him.
Thank you.
All right, 6 cars out there. Hopefully all 6 can finish the race. That would be awesome. Pace car is going to pull off. Very early pit entry here at Irwindale. And out of the final corner, the number 7 of Brandon Hoff is going to lead him to the green flag here at Irwindale. Down into turn 1, side by side. That 70's rolling that high lane, but here comes the 91 of John Quinn to the outside. It looks like the 70 of G-Day Laird is going to get around the number 7 of Brandon Hoff, so already that outside lane working pretty good, and that's going to leave the number 70 here to lead lap 1 of 50.
Yeah, almost racing like it's Darlington. They're all up there.
A shot out of a cannon, and I wasn't really sure, with not having a lot of experience here, I wasn't really sure where the lines were going to develop. But it looks like it's going to be towards that higher side of the racetrack. A little bit of argy-bargy going on between David Krikorian and David Scoville in the rear here. 66 and the 9 battling for position, and they're side by side.
Hey, no one's giving an inch here. 66 is really persistent on the inside. See if he can get it coming out of the corner.
It's going to be so hard to get a drive off on the bottom here, Finian. It's very much like Langley we were watching last week with the truck series. It's so tricky to power off the corner when you don't have any radius to work with. The 9's in the wall. Davey Scoville scrapes it. That's all right. These cars are kind of wide, so they'll take a little bit of a beating before they get damaged. But that will let the 66 of David Krikorian get around. You see the 9 bouncing off the wall again. And the 66 will take over that spot. Wow, the 9 drove it in there deep. Contact. The 66 is going to go around.
Oh, my.
Will he save it? Nope, he's going to spin to the bottom of the racetrack. We'll stay green. A little bit of argy-bargy. That was interesting to say the least, but the 66 will pull away without too much damage. Meanwhile,
I don't think he's going to like that.
yeah, probably not. That probably wasn't... Krikorian's probably not too happy with that situation, but here's the 7 and the 91 battling for second place. Already 7 laps into this. These laps are going to tick off very quickly.
Yeah, he's been looking there, but it just, you really just can't make a move unless you dive it down in there. Whoa, he's smoking. The 91's smoking.
And 91 is blown a motor. John Quinn off the racetrack, and that will be race over for the number 91. And to the pits he will go.
I think I know why he did that. I noticed these cars have tape configuration. I just checked in the garage, so he might have had qualifying tape left on.
Well, that wouldn't be a whole lot of fun. And yeah, only 9 laps in. I think you're right about that, Finian. But that will be... Oh, we got one in the wall. I believe that's the 61 of Jeffrey Stanton bounced off the wall there with that Napra Chevy SS. A little bit of right front damage to that machine. Oh, sliding. The 61 is drifting through turn 3 and 4. Will he save it? Up the racetrack he goes. Excellent save. Very good job.
Wow, he was really sideways. That is some great car control.
Pretty spectacular stuff. And up front, we got 0.8 of a second between first and second. That's Brandon Hoff in the 7, who started on pole but slipped back immediately on lap 1.
Yeah, every lap that's passing by, though, Jay's just pulling up by 1/10 every lap, so he's slowly but surely expanding that gap.
Riding on board now with that number 7, and if you notice the corner speed here, under 70 miles an hour. There's not a whole lot of banking here to lean on, and about 120 down the straightaways, so the speed differential between the straight and the corners is pretty high. Great onboard cameras provided by Finian Dacuna. Good job there. He did it in about 3 minutes. That was pretty impressive. And it looks like John Quinn is back out on the racetrack. Fast repair, I would assume. But he's back out on course. Unless he just overheating. That could be, too. And he just pull the tape off and let the car cool down. But I'm pretty sure once you see black smoke, that's usually night over. So.
Yeah, it was the quickest engine swap in history.
All right, 15 laps in. That number 70 of G-Day Laird still stretching out the lead just a little bit. Looking out from the rear window of that number 70. Oh, a little bit of a slide off turn 4. Love the see-through spoiler on these cars. Makes it really easy to see what's going on behind.
Yeah, they definitely need it, considering how big it is, compared to a lot of the stock cars we have nowadays.
All right, so everyone's still in the lead lap. Oh, we got Jeffrey Stanton is being passed here by David Krikorian in that 66, who has recovered from his spin quite well. But I was going to say here, Finian, these guys are spread out, but the action is not over. As you see Jeffrey Stanton sliding, wow, he is so out of control. And he's got massive right front damage now. That car cannot be driving very well.
Yeah, I was going to say that 66, the next car in front of him is the 9, so I wonder if he's going to return the favor.
He's got a little ground to make up still to return it, but I would not be surprised to see that. I can't blame him either. That was can't quite understand that move that early in the race, but I guess we'll see what happens here. And that gap is shrinking between the 66 and the 9. So let's just keep an eye on this. It was 2 seconds last time by, now 1.8. That is the same differential to the leader between Brandon Hoff and G-Day Laird. I don't know if it's Hoff or Hof. I'm going to guess Hoff, and hopefully I'll get corrected later and can sort everything out.
I would put money on Hoff.
All right, done with lap 20 here in just a moment, so we're closing in on halfway already. That, I believe that's, what has he got on the nose of that? Exalta 66 on the nose of that Chevy Camaro. I love the look of these super late models, especially when you can stick pretty much any decals you want on the nose of these things. People get pretty creative.
Yeah, the Camaro decals look really good on that.
They definitely do. It is a beautiful looking car, and this gap is closing now 0.8 of a second between him and Davey Scoville. A little bit of wall contact there with the 9. He's bounced off it a couple times tonight. Look at the 66. That's the Larson line way up there.
Yeah, he was really close to hitting the wall.
All right, this is where it gets interesting, folks. And wow, that 66 is so close. Making time up there for sure, though. The second quickest car on the racetrack last time by.
Yeah, and the 9 just lets him by.
That was probably a smart move on Scoville's part. Unless he's about to go back up there and dump him again, but hopefully that's not what's going to happen. Oh, it's actually looking. He's over in there pretty deep. I don't know about you, Finian, but that was. Oh, the 66 is in the wall. Sliding is the 9 of Davey Scoville, but he hangs on to it. Ooh, the 9 is still bouncing off the wall. He must have some damage now. Yeah, he definitely does. Look at that right front's all torn up. And bounces off it again. Oh, and again, that 9 car is just bouncing. It's not Eldora, buddy. Hang on. Oh, there it goes again.
Yeah, I think he's either lost tires or handling from the damage, but yeah, something's not.
Oh, something is severely wrong. Scraped it all the way through 1 and 2 that time. And there he goes again. Sparks still flying from that number 9. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, that's not working out too great for him.
I think he's just trying to hang on because he can only really lose 2 more spots, and one of those cars is right behind him, so he's just trying to hang on as much as he can for 20 more laps.
Yeah, we're closing in on 20 to go here. Wow, still scraping. The sparks flying. It's right on board with Jeffrey Stanton, who's in the pits, actually. So cancel that. The 61 has come down pit road. And should be enough fuel to go the distance, so maybe just a damage repair thing here for that number 61. Down into the pit lane. Meanwhile, up front, nothing has changed. G-Day Laird out front with the number 70 by 3.6 seconds. In front of...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead there, Finney.
No, he has also no sign of slowing down. He has an even bigger lap difference between Brandon and JD. It's about 0.2 a lap, so he's just completely booking it.
Actually, last time by was actually the quickest vehicle on the racetrack was that of the 66 of David Krikorian. And I don't know if he has time to get there, but at the rate he's going, he's
Wow, that's, yeah.
9 seconds back, but he's running the pace of the leader. So, I can see this. If we had a yellow, maybe, that could bunch things up and get the 66 back in the fight. But meanwhile, that JDR Graphics Toyota Camry is out front and looking pretty stout.
I mean, everyone's really kind of spread out at the moment. I say that as the 91 and the 9 are getting close, but they're relatively spread out. No one's really kind of fighting for position. So the odds of a caution are kind of low. And, yeah, it's unfortunate to see because he has the pace. He just has lost the track position early on. That's been really killed him.
Into turn 3, that 9 car way up in the wall. Sparks flying again. It's pretty spectacular watching those sparks fly. Oh, out of control. Can he save it? He does. Left a couple tire marks behind him there, though. Still out of control. Still sliding around. He's just hanging on at this point. And here comes the 91 of excuse me. That's John Quinn, who's 2 laps down from the leader. So this will not be a pass 4 position. We'll watch it anyway as we close in on 15 laps to go. To the high side goes the 91. He's going to arc it, head back down underneath. Dime in the corner. Will he get him on exit?
I think at this point he's just probably trying to just ride it out behind the 9.
Down to the bottom he goes.
Or maybe not.
He's looking pretty racy up there. The high side now. Definitely a lot of strategy involved in passing here at, almost at Lucas Oil. Irwindale Speedway. You see the 9's in the wall again. You can make the bottom work if you can arc the corner the right way, or on a restart with fresh tires, but it's so hard to make a pass late into a run like the 91 is trying to do. Definitely not what John Quinn wanted. Running 6th, started 3rd on the night, so not really the race he wanted to see. And actually, Finney, you might be right. He's just kind of riding behind the 9 car now. Not sure if that's on purpose or if he's just lost the nose of the car. But we're closing in now on 10 laps to go. We got a couple laps to get there, but G.Day Laird now almost a 5-second advantage. And he is looking really racy here tonight.
Yeah, I'm just looking at all their lap times, and the 66 is still the fastest car on the track.
And 10 laps to go next time by for the leader, the number 70 of G.Day Laird. And there it is, 10 to go. And right from the start, led every lap of this race. Started on the high side, and maybe that's an advantage that we'll have to keep an eye on for these future super late model races. These cars can just hook up and go so well on the high line that not really a disadvantage like it is at a lot of tracks.
It definitely, ooh, here's some sliding.
I heard a lot of sliding. I believe it was the number 9 of Davey Scoville, but
I'm actually looking from behind. It looks like JD's catching these two, so he's going to try to have to get around them.
yeah, he definitely is closing in now. But it shouldn't be too much of an issue, as he's got a 5.4 second lead over Brandon Hoffman at number 7. Coming now to 7 laps to go. And in solid command, running lap times extremely consistent. He's only off about a half a second from the start of the run, which is frankly pretty impressive with the current iRacing oval tire. So he's doing a great job out there, kind of preventing himself from scrubbing those front tires too much. You don't want to do that. You'll overheat them real quick, and he'll be fighting understeer and oversteer all over the place for the rest of the race. So coming now to 5 laps to go next time around. And the 9 and the 91 getting racy once again, right in front of the leader. The only way I can see this being an issue for that number 70 is if these guys collide and have issues, and that's not totally out of the question, but...
I would say I have seen fire and I've seen rain, so...
Yep, and here comes the 91 down to the bottom. Can't quite do anything with it, though. Like I said, just so hard to get the tires hooked up heading down the racetrack like that. So much easier to maintain your momentum on the high lane. There goes the 91 trying that this time, but can't get the run up there either. I'm amazed that the 9 car has not set the track on fire with how much he's been scraping that wall. It's like starting a campfire with the right side. He's just putting some flint on it and just run it along the whole wall the whole time.
Apparently it's working for him, so...
Yeah, he's holding on pretty good. Thought I would have bashed the side in a couple thousand times by now, but looking all right. Now let's ride on board again with that leader, G.Day Laird. And watching this battle from behind, and we're going to come now to 2 laps to go, and the 9 car's out of control, but he saves it, does he? Wow.
Oh, 91 gave him a bit of a bump.
And here comes the leader to the inside of both these guys. And I think he's going to keep himself out of this mess. Probably a great idea. We've got white flag in the air for the number 70. Last time around. In the wall again for the 9. And out of turn 4. The first race here with SimTV, G.Day Laird, the number 70. JDR Graphics Toyota Camry takes the victory for the super late model feature here tonight at Irwindale. Wow, that was dominating performance for sure. And, well, that was all that. That was all she wrote for that race. So we will head to break real quick. We're going to try to see if we can get some interviews going here. These guys, thankfully, at the last second, jumped ship from iRacing comes over to Discord for us, and I'm not sure if they're all configured yet with their microphones and such. So we will jump to break for a couple minutes after we watch the 70 do his burnouts. That beautiful number 70 Camry is going to enjoy those burnouts for the time being. Wow, Finian, that was the first race here. Definitely had some action. Considering there was only 6 cars out of the racetrack, you would have thought there was a heck of a lot more than that. But the 70 will head over to Victory Lane, and hopefully we'll be with them in just a couple minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Sim TV. We're here with G-Day Laird. Did I say that correctly, last name?
Yes.
Okay, want to make sure, because there's a lot of different ways you can pronounce names, so I just want to make sure I'm getting it right and not embarrassing myself. That was a dominating performance from lap 1, shot out of the cannon on the high lane and just ran away with it. Tell us about that race and how you beat everybody by almost 6 seconds. That was pretty impressive out there.
I got luckier than heck when Gregorian got spun. He's been the class of the field pretty much every race that this league has had. And when I heard that he got dumped and no caution came out, it was just basically managing it from there. And hopefully he didn't magically gain 9 seconds on me.
Yeah, he was definitely storming up from behind, and actually his best lap time, I believe, was it was actually the 4th quickest, but he had a really good average lap time. But talking about Irwindale Speedway, not a track that Finian and I are super familiar with, but really it looks like the high lane is what came in here early. But on a restart, is it possible to make up ground on the bottom?
You can. If there's enough cars and enough traffic in front of you, you can roll the bottom, because the preferred line is right around the hash marks, about 2 car lengths at least off the wall. So everybody's going to be fighting for that. So if there were enough cars, you can make the bottom work. And you can get the bottom to work in 3 and 4 in qualifying, but average lap times, it's pretty much where we were running.
All right, well, good to know. But we got a lot of other stuff here tonight to do, so thanks for talking to us, G-Day. And I said it again. Dang it.
Yes, you did.
JD, why did I do that? All right, JD, thank you for talking to us, and good luck in the next event, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Welcome back to Sim TV, and we're back at Irwindale Speedway, and now this time with the Legends cars. These are adorable little things, and they produce some really good racing. But Finian, one thing that's different from the last race we were just at with the super late models, we're looking from above. We're on the inner oval, so a little bit shorter, a little bit tighter, but we expect to see just as good racing. So we were just talking to the guys, great guys from the Irwindale Sim Series. Car count's a little bit lower than normal, but we will expect to see those numbers jump in the coming weeks. And so far, the racing has been quite entertaining. So we're getting ready for, I believe, 30, 35 laps, something like that, for this 30 lap feature race here tonight for the Legends cars. I'm also noticing little things like on my leaderboard here, but that 333, that triple digit for G-Day Laird is not showing up quite like I would like it to. So obviously, work in progress for a couple things here on Sim TV. This new ticker, as I was explaining to the guys, we'll have some cool new features coming, and just keep an eye out in the coming weeks as it improves and gets better and gets as polished as our other one. So this was something I put together just to give a little bit of differentiation for groups that wanted the top style ticker, and hopefully it is as good as our other one. I kind of like the animation myself. All right, top of the board in this pre-race warm-up here is Brandon Hoff, that number 95. And he's got Exalta on that car. Little William Byron mobile over there. All right, Finian, you're a Legends fan. You've always liked these cars. You started out rookies in these cars. Tell me about how difficult it is, or what you have to do to make a Legends car fast.
Oh, these things are nice little nimble cars. You really can, if you're good enough, you can just kind of chuck them into the corner and let it stick. But one thing with these cars, what I noticed is that you got to watch the oversteer coming out of the corner. Because they're so light and they have quite a bit of kick to them, the back end can catch you coming out. So you got to watch that during the race. And also, it's a really short race, 30 laps. They're doing 15 seconds a lap. This is going to be an incredibly short race. These guys are going to have to make moves and make moves fast.
Yeah, and another thing, Finian, that is a little bit unique maybe about these Legends cars is the transmission that is involved with them. And maybe you could explain a little bit. The transmission is not your normal 4-speed H pattern like a lot of oval cars.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I didn't really notice it when I first started doing these things because I only had a sequential shifter. But yeah, these things are only sequential shifters. You have to use the clutch to shift, and it's quite weird compared to the stock cars that you normally drive. And nowadays the rookie car is the street stock, but when I was starting with these things are quite a bit different than your average stock car.
And a 5-speed transmission as well, different from the 4-speed that a lot of oval cars have. So a little bit different of an oval machine here, but certainly a lot of fun. The short wheelbase makes them really nimble, like as you said. We got a little race going off the pit road between G-Day. I said it again. This is going to be so hard.
What we need is a counter. Keeping track of how many times you say it.
I'm usually not bad with names, so this is not a good start to the night for me. That doesn't even make any sense. I don't understand where I got that from. JD. I'm just going to...
write a post-it note and slap it on
I'm going to need a post-it note, which is so horrible. It's 2 letters. It's 2 letters. Oh boy. I feel like Darryl Waltrip up here. I'm getting senile. Alright.
We also got yourself getting gray hair?
I think so. Well, as was pointed out to me, I can pronounce Krikorian, but apparently not JD. So I got some work to do this week. And a couple numbers. Most of the guys have the same number, except Brandon Hoff and JD Laird have different numbers tonight in the Legends cars. And we got a new arrival, Richard Orr, in the 76 has joined the session, so that bumps our car count up to 7. And 25 seconds remaining here in the pre-race warm-up. And we'll set these guys loose for 30 laps around here. And as Finney, you mentioned it, short laps, 15 seconds, basically Bristol without banking, and the 95 goes into the wall. Sends it for a spin. But, yeah, David Krikorian, though, what an astounding comeback in the super late model feature tonight, and I expect him to be very quick here. Only a 10th off of Hoff's time, ran a 15.449 to Hoff's 15.349. So the checkered flag is in the air here for the practice session, and we'll turn him loose for qualifying. And Hoff wastes no time getting out up to speed in his number 95. Right on board here, we got a nice bumper cam on the bottom of the front bumper of this number 95. Let's ride on board here for a lap. Take a look at the speeds we're running. A little bit loose there, but 81 was the high speed on the straight, and down to about... Whoa, that was a bailed out lap there.